Welcome back to the Artful Evaluation Organization Administrator Training video series. In this video, we're going to set up our first exhibition. From the main admin page, click Exhibitions, and then click the button to create a new one. The title and description will appear on the teacher's main page, and they'll click the title to enter their students' entries. Select the date and time you want the exhibition to open and start accepting entries, and the date and time you want the exhibition to close and no longer accept new entries. Please note that if you want an exhibition to close at midnight, you'll need to change the closing time to 11:59 p.m. Next is the date and time adjudication opens and closes. This is the start date and the deadline for the judges on your jury to evaluate and enter their score. We'll talk about setting up judge accounts in another video. The checkbox to require judges to use whole numbers may be helpful if you have a rubric with scores which are all whole numbers and you require your judges to pick from one of those specific rubric boxes. If you keep this unchecked, judges will be able to enter decimal places in their scores, implying that the entry falls somewhere in between two of your rubric categories. The maximum score should be the top score in your rubric, or the maximum score in your scoring criteria. Note that if you have several different categories that your judges will be judging in, they will only be entering the final score. So this number should be the maximum total final score that a student can receive from a judge. You can limit the total number of entries a teacher can submit, and by checking limit to 1 entry per student, you can prevent a teacher from submitting more than 1 entry with the same student name. Disclaimer text is optional, and it will be displayed at the bottom of each student entry form. If you enter a disclaimer statement here, it will require the teacher to check a checkbox saying that they agree with that statement. A supporting document is any document such as a Microsoft Word or PDF file that you will need your teachers to upload in addition to the image of the artwork. We recommend against using this because most of the data you'll need to collect can be obtained through the additional questions section that we're going to set up next, which will make it easier to export and use rather than the uploaded documents. This section should also not be confused with release forms. Those are automatically generated after the teacher uploads all their students' artwork, so it would be impossible for them to upload them into this section. But if you have any other type of form or file that must be filled out and submitted, which is more than just a single paragraph or sentence of text that can be set up as additional questions instead, then you can check this box and specify the name of the additional document that is required. The next fields apply if you charge your teachers an entry fee. Per entry means that every work of art they enter, that amount will be added to their invoice. Per teacher is an overall charge that will be added to their invoice one time regardless of how many entries they have. You can use either, both, or none of these options. There are also boxes to specify different prices for charter schools if you want to charge them a different price. For the exhibitions where you charge an entry fee, note that at this time we do not have any credit card integration, so it will only allow the teacher to print an invoice that they can use to get a check. We'll click the Create Exhibition button and it will save everything and take us to the Additional Questions page. Here you can see a list of all the data that it will ask for each entry by default. And if there's anything else that you want to ask about each student entry that will be entered, you can create those additional questions here. Just type the question text exactly as you would like it to appear for the teachers and select whether the answer should be yes, no, or free text. In this case, we're going to ask the teacher to copy and paste an artist statement into the form, but you can literally ask any question you would like to have each teacher answer about each entry. When we are finished adding additional questions, it takes us to the Details and Administration page for our newly created exhibition. Here we can see the details we just entered, along with a series of buttons we'll use to administer the exhibition later on. We go back to our list of exhibitions, which now has the exhibition that we just created, and I click back once again, and we're back to the main admin homepage. At this point, the exhibition is ready for teachers to start entering entries, so we need them to create accounts so they can log in. On the main admin page, we scroll down, and here is a link that you will need to send to all of your teachers. This special link allows them to set up an account within your organization. They'll only need it once, just to set up their login and password, and then they can just go to artfulevaluation.com and click login after that. Feel free to see our other videos in the teacher training section to see what your teachers will actually see. Click the copy link button to copy it to your computer's clipboard, and then you can paste it into a new email to send to your teachers. In the next video, we'll talk about some administrative tasks you can do once your teachers start entering their entries.